Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 191. I'm Andrew Eisen. So, I did something this week that, wow, I haven't done in like 2 months. I put gas in my car. I was on the same tank of gas for 2 solid months. So, that's a thing. Jordan says, so no Stargirl review. Do you mean from me? I did post a debut review of Stargirl earlier this week. So, unless you mean the movie on the Disney Plus service. Yeah, I didn't watch that. I read the description and went, nah, probably not for me. Uh, Jordan says, the narrative motivations made no sense, even for a teenage rom-com. But hey, Stargirl, the superhero show, was not too bad. If you check out my debut review, if you like, I enjoyed it well enough that plus a combination of I'm paying for the DC Universe service on accident means I'll probably tune into episode 2 and enjoying the Harley Quinn show, and I think the next season of Doom Patrol is this summer, so yeah, there's some stuff to watch until DC takes all its marbles over to HBO Plus, HBO Max, whatever it is. That'll be a shame. Because if we don't have enough streaming services, you have the same company with multiple streaming services. Oh, you can't watch all of our content in one place. No, you have to pay for several different streaming services. Jordan asks, am I going to be one of the first to see the Snyder Cut of Justice League? Probably not, because from what I understand, that will be on the HBO Max, I think is the name of it, and I don't have that. Plus, I've not seen the theatrical cut of Justice League, so I'd prefer to see that first, just for comparison's sake. I really do need to catch up on some of the earlier DC movies, though they don't look very good. Saw Man of Steel, thought it was lacking. I didn't think it was horrible, but I didn't think it was very good. Entertaining enough in spots, but overall I didn't think worked. Thought Batman v Superman looked horrible and never bothered to see it. It was actually a playing. I don't remember where I was going, but it was on a plane. And instead of watching the movie, I don't know, I was playing a video game on my laptop or something like that. I do remember glancing up at it a couple times and going, oh my god, this looks horrible. But, don't judge a book by its cover and marketing and multiple previews and clips of the movie and lots of different reviews from various sources. Maybe it's good. I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I really would want a Batman v Superman movie to be good. I'd be really disappointed if it were bad. I mean, imagine making a Batman and Superman movie and it sucks. It'd be like, oh man. How deflating. At least the Batman and Superman animated movie, which was a crossover for the animated series, was pretty good. That's good. So I also did not see Justice League. I did not see what was Ayer's movie? Suicide Squad. They all look bad. I hear they are bad, but I want to see them anyway. Wonder Woman was pretty good. I enjoyed Wonder Woman. Struggled a bit in the third act, I thought, but overall, solid film. Really enjoyed Aquaman, which surprised me because Aquaman, but it was amazingly corny, awesome. I actually really loved it. I also really liked Shazam. We've got another Suicide Squad coming eventually. We've got Wonder Woman 2 coming out eventually. Um, yeah. DC, it's hard for me to say, oh, DC started out bad, but then it got good, because I only saw Man of Steel. I haven't seen Batman v and it's actually called Batman v Superman. Not Batman versus Superman. It's like a legal Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Wow, that's a bad title. But didn't see that, or Justice League, or Suicide Squad. So I need to see those at some point. Let's see, what are we doing? Weird Hollywood can't get Superman right. Just make him like he is in the comics. That's why people like him. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, generally so, but I mean, he's so many different iterations of Superman have appeared in so many different comic stories that there's no real one right way to do Superman. I think the approach Man of Steel took is fine. It just wasn't. I mean, could succeed on its own merits. It just didn't. I don't think its execution was there. You know, like probably the most obvious example is him killing Zod at the very end. It was Zod, right? Yeah, it was Zod. And then he goes, "No!" Which, if you know who Superman is, generally, an amalgam of all of Superman's traits in various comic iterations, you understand his anguished cry of pain at having to snap some dude's neck. But in the context of that movie, it was not set up at all. In the context of that movie, he snaps Zod's neck, and you're like, well, yeah, okay. And he's, oh, what have I done? And you're like, what? The movie had never at any point had it ever indicated that Clark had an issue with murdering fools. In fact, Clark seemed to be kind of a broody, annoyed, can't be bothered with this crap kind of dude. Which is an odd take on Superman, but, just as valid as any other, I suppose. Although there are other characters closer to that archetype that you could probably use, but, just as a matter of narrative and storytelling, it just didn't work because it wasn't set up. It's a payoff to nothing. It wasn't set up. Kind of like in, Star Wars Episode 8, the Last Jedi. Thank you for my brain for coming up with that. You remember the big fight, the big showdown, the big confrontation between Flynn and Captain Phasma at the end of Last Jedi? And how it emotionally did not land at all because it was never set up? Or to be charitable, it was barely set up. I mean, the staging, the cinematography, the shot selection, the performances, the music, all tells you that this is the moment we've been waiting for. This is the moment it has all built to. It has all come down. Finally, Finn versus Phasma. And it doesn't work at all because it was never actually set up. It was just, oh, well, she's just the bad guy who's been in, 3 or 4 scenes in 2 movies. Didn't she die in the last one? No. So, Armchair Andrew says you can't have a payoff without setting it up first. It doesn't work without the setup. You can't ha-ha without letting the audience know what you're ha-haing over. So, yeah, that's a long-winded way of saying I didn't think Man of Steel was very good. And normally I don't complain about this much, but did you have to suck all of the color out of the movie? Oh my god, it's so gray. It's so gray. Even Superman's blue outfit is like gray. And, you know, it's an aesthetic choice. Just one I don't agree with because it's ugly. You know? And from what I saw of the previews of, I don't know if it was Justice League or Batman v Superman. I think it was Justice League. I think I saw a trailer for Justice League. And it was Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, walking out in the snow somewhere. And the snow was this incredibly ugly, dingy gray. And I'm like, did anyone tell the people making this movie that snow's supposed to be white? I mean, unless this is snow that's sitting right next to a very polluting factory or something, it's just like, oh my god, why is everything so damn gray? Yeah, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman had the same problem. A lot of the color. Themyscira is supposed to be, you know, paradise. It's supposed to be this incredibly gorgeous, lush paradise. Oh my god, everyone wants to live here with sparkly beaches and sparkly water and sparkly trees. Everything's sparkly. Even the armadillos. Oh, look at that armadillo. It's sparkly. The armadillo is the best part of the movie because armadillos are cool. I hope the armadillo is back in the sequel. That's what Wonder Woman 84 needs. More armadillo. But you watch the movie, and the blue of the water and the green of the plants is like the same color, and the sky is like this sickly yellow. Themyscira in a lot of the Wonder Woman movie genuinely looks like it's been going through a very bad drought. Now, I'm certainly not saying that, you know, a desaturated color palette is a stylistic choice that no one should ever use, nor am I saying, just like I would not say that nobody should ever, under any circumstances, use shaky cam. These are tools, but you gotta use them appropriately. You know? Shaky cam when you're trying to film a fight scene generally doesn't work because you can't see what's going on. But shaky cam when you have a characters in a train that's derailing. Oh god, the train is derailing and we're all gonna die. That works. Look at all the cool stuff on the screen. Isn't this exciting? No, I can't see it. Same thing. Look at this amazingly lush paradise that the Amazons have lived in. Oh, you mean that really dry fire trap with the sickly yellow sky? Where I can't tell the difference between the water and the grass because it's nearly the same color? My very, very humble opinion is that was the wrong creative choice. So, overall, I did rather enjoy it. What's interesting is they did dial the saturation back up a little bit for the final release of the movie. If you look, Wonder Woman, if you look at the trailers for Wonder Woman and you look at the actual released film, they were still messing with the color grading right up to the end. I hope that me yammering about this stuff is interesting to some of you, but anyway. So for 10 minutes ago, Chaos was saying that Hollywood can't get Superman right. So, long story short is, I think it's okay if you want to do something radically different with Superman's character. If you want to make Superman kind of a morose, broody dude with a lot of power, but just, you know, feels compelled to, you know, I have this power, I really should use it to help, but I just don't want to, man. It's a giant pain in the ass. You know, that's a take I haven't seen, so go for it. I think the biggest problem was they had a Superman with kind of that attitude, but nobody else in the movie seemed to recognize that attitude, right? Everyone else in the movie seemed to be reacting to Superman as if he was the big blue Boy Scout that we generally associate with Superman's personality. But that's not the Superman that's in that movie. And from what I've seen of clips and previews and stuff in Batman v Superman Justice League, they try to retcon that. It's like, Superman was the best of us. He was always pulling cats out of trees and stuff. It's like, did you see the last movie? No. No. He not only does he really seem bummed out by actually helping people, he genuinely doesn't seem to care. Like when I was on the plane and I saw Batman v Superman, there's a scene. I don't know what the context of this is, but he's in a courtroom, right? And he's standing there, and he looks like he's getting scolded by the judge or something. And then the courtroom just explodes in fire, and everyone dies. And Superman looks really inconvenienced by that. I mean, he's like, oh, man. Oh, this is such a pain in the ass. I mean, he doesn't look, oh my god, everyone around me is dead. No, he's like, FML, am I right? I'm gonna tweet about this. You know? Again, I don't know what the context of that scene is, but, you know, I was reading a book or something, and I glanced up and I watched that, and I was like, Soups, do you just genuinely not care? It's so weird. I read what was the it's one of the Elseworld books, the one where Superman grows up in Russia instead of America. Red Sun, right? That's a very different attitude for Superman. Now, granted, it's an Elseworlds what if kind of story, but you know, it worked because the story around it supported that character. I think one of the reasons why Man of Steel, and it looks like an extension to the next films, doesn't work as well is because the story is not supporting the character that they're showing, and the other character's reaction to the character that's seem to be reacting as if we have a character from a different story. You know, it just doesn't work. It's this discordance that you just can't shake, or at least I can't. Maybe you can. I don't know. So, all right, let's see. Did I ever check out the anime High Score Girl? It's about a Japanese arcade scene in the 90s. I've heard of it. I don't think I have. Pretty sure I've not. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know which one that is, and I think I didn't watch that one. So I don't believe so, no. Let's see. Jordan says, after the buzz of the Snyder Cut that the director of Ghostbusters 26... Oh, Paul Feig, yeah, right. Okay, yeah, wants to release a 3.5-hour director's cut, as if that will save the train wreck of a movie. I'll watch it, to be honest. You know what? I am a super-duper huge Ghostbusters fan, as most of you all know. I don't think Ghostbusters 2016 is a very good movie. I still like it. Is that because I'm a super-duper Ghostbusters fan? Yeah, mostly. Basically, if you have a movie where people shoot lasers at ghosts, I'm going to like it. It's kind of like if you have a movie with dinosaurs in it. You're going to have to work really hard to turn me off. That said, I have seen both the theatrical cut of Ghostbusters 2016, and I have seen the... Gotta do something gross. Hang on. Pardon me. I've seen the theatrical cut, because I went to the movies to see Ghostbusters, and I purchased the Blu-ray. Actually, I think I got it on iTunes because it came out weeks earlier and had more stuff on it. And where was I going with this? Oh, right. The Blu-ray actually has a longer cut of the movie. It's I don't know, maybe 10 minutes longer. And 10 minutes longer, it has some alternate takes. And what's interesting is I've heard Paul Feig say that he prefers the director's cut. I don't. I actually think the theatrical cut is better. And I can understand why Paul Feig likes the director's cut better. He's the director. Because it's much more indulgent. Like, scenes go on a lot longer than they need to. And it has a bunch of stuff that feels very improv-y, and probably was hilarious on the set, but just kind of drags in the context of a film. For example, the first interview with Kevin, the secretary, Chris Hemsworth's character, in the movie, it's that was something they have the full take on the DVD, which is fascinating to watch. It's like 15 minutes of them just yapping at each other, and in the context of a extended scene in the special features section of a DVD or Blu-ray, iTunes, whatever, it's hilarious watching these incredibly funny performers perform. That scene is in the director's cut is much longer than it is in the theatrical, and it just drags. As a bit, like as an it, I think Ghostbusters 2016 works much better as a series of individual skits. Like, there are a ton, in my very humble opinion, of very funny moments in the movie, but they really only work in isolation for the most part. It doesn't work as a cohesive narrative. And I think it might have been Feig's approach to the material. His view on Ghostbusters was just a bunch of funny comedian actors getting together and goofing around, which, it's one way to look at it, and that's really how the Ghostbusters 2016 film plays. Just a bunch of really funny actors just goofing around. But the thing that worked so well about the original Ghostbusters movie is it is a bunch of really funny actors futzing around and being very funny, but it's also a really tightly structured narrative. It really genuinely works as a story. And I think that's the great thing about the original Ghostbusters movie, and the sequels kind of lost that. 2 and 2016 are kind of on the same level for me. I like them both, but neither of them I would really consider good movies. I don't think either of them succeed, but there is a lot I like about both of them. So, but getting back to what Jordan said, would I watch a 3.5-hour cut of that movie? Yeah, I would. Sure. I really, for all the film's problems, I genuinely liked almost all the characters in it. Really, the only character I didn't swing with was Kevin the secretary, because they didn't seem to nail down who that character was. They didn't seem, because he alternates between kind of, let me get on frame here, kind of a dick or impossibly stupid. Because there's some scenes where he's like, "Oh, it's really loud, cover my eyes." It's like, oh god, that's a dumb joke. No one's that stupid. I mean that's a physical reflex. Nobody on Earth would do that, so it's dumb. And then you have other things where he's just kind of mean. Like, they're like, "Hey, Kevin, could you answer the phone?" He's like, "I didn't feel like it. I'm going to go bowling. I'll come back if I feel like it." It's like, this guy's a jerk. They didn't really seem to nail down... Chris Hemsworth's a funny performer, don't get me wrong. He does a great job, but it felt like they really needed to spend more time on the script, because I don't think they really nailed down the narrative or some of the characters. The main Ghostbusters I all quite liked, though. I liked the characters. I thought they were fun to hang out with. I wish they were in a better movie, and I'm kind of sad that we're probably not going to see that cast again. That's a shame because I think there's a lot of potential there. Luckily, those characters have showed up in some of the comics, and they're still good. So, you know, all is not lost. I'm going very slow through this chat. I may never get to any of my topics. I may just yammer about this dumb stuff. Let's see. Jordan says if the red-haired lady from the first Aquaman, Mara, is it Amber Heard? I think. Red-haired lady. Oh man, did they get her hair color wrong? Ooh, looked like she was in a clown wig. If they don't get the red-haired lady from the first Aquaman, doesn't look the same as the sequel, don't be shocked. People get recast all the time, so you know it happens. If she's unavailable or doesn't want to, or you know gets lost in the woods somewhere and no one can find her, recast the role. So oh hey, Ruby Rose has left Batwoman, and they're going to recast her for a second season. So that's a bummer, I guess. I only saw the first episode. I did a debut review if you want to watch it. I thought it was alright. I wasn't quite good enough to get me to watch a second episode, but I thought it was okay. Ruby Rose, who I think I've only ever seen in John Wick 2, she was fine. I thought she did fine with the role, so yeah. Cheers to her and whatever she does next, and hopefully whoever replaces her does a great job. Oh, let's see. Jordan says, I'm a nerd, so I'd totally watch a Batman v Superman court drama. I totally would, too. Like, no, I'm sorry, that I was thinking of Daredevil, but that's Marvel. Who's a DC court attorney? Shoot, all the attorneys I know are in the Marvel universe. It's because the DC characters are too powerful. You can't. It's like, I'm gonna sue you. It's like, dude, I'm essentially God. Your laws are beneath me, puny mortal. Alright. There was a comic where it was Batman v Superman in court. Superman was prosecuting Lois Lane and Batman was the defense. Huh, I don't remember that one. Hey, Scrungle. Let's see. Moros and Brooding is Batman. Red Sun is what I was talking about. Oh, speaking of Ghostbusters, Afterlife, the new one is delayed till 2021. So, I mean, bummer, but you know, I'm not going to the theater right now. I mean, even if the theaters did open up, I think it was originally July 10th. It's going to be a while before I go to a crowded place. Even when stuff opens back up, I'm fine right here, thanks. Let's see. Oh, pardon. Harvey Dent is you're right. He's district attorney. So there you go. So Harvey Dent, Batman v Superman, and Harvey Dent is prosecuting. There you go. Who would defend? I guess it would be a civil court case. So I guess you wouldn't really need an attorney. I guess they'd each have their own attorneys. I guess they'd be suing each other. Or would the city be suing Batman and Superman, or would they be like suing each other in civil court or something? Is it Batman Superman on like Judge Judy or something? Scrungle says Afterlife looks pretty good. It's interesting looking. I like the fact that it looks very different. It's not four people come together to build a company and get ghosts out of the big city. We've seen that 3 times, so nice to see it. Looks like it's going to be doing something different. I wasn't really happy with the trailers that I saw because they didn't really reveal much story. You get the general gist of where it's going, but the thing I had with it is I couldn't really get a sense of any of the characters for the most part. So, but I mean, it's the first trailer. They probably didn't have any of the effects finished, so you know, got plenty of time to work on it now. At least if it's done shooting, everyone. Although I don't know if I don't know what effects houses or whoever's working on Ghostbusters, but it's like, well, all the effects artists and people working on this can just go home and work at home. It's like, do they get to bring all their office equipment at home? Is Sony or whoever going to let them take all that crap home? I mean, that was something I was kind of concerned about when I moved essentially my whole cubicle over there somewhere. It's like, if I get laid off at some point, do I have to bring all this stuff back? I mean, yes, obviously I do, but you're not going to, like, lay me off and then say, you stole all our crap. It's like, well, I mean, I'll bring it back. So, all right. So, first topic, half an hour into the show here, is I'd like to talk about working out. So, because of everything, I am limited, as with, this is not unique to me, of course, but I'm limited to body weight and cardio exercise. I've tried to run outside, but wearing a mask and running, especially now that it's hotter, is not working so well because I sweat and my face covering gets covered in soaked through with sweat, and it's like I'm waterboarding myself. It just don't work. So I've been for any extended, like, full cardio, just kind of joggy type of stuff, I've actually been using Wii Fit Adventure, which has a joggy mode, which works okay. It's really better to. I use that when I'm just not in the mood to be doing really strenuous crap like jump squats and split jumps and things like that. The stuff that gets your cardio up but is just really hard. So I've lost probably about 5 or 6 pounds over the last 2 months because I have no heavy weights. Like, the heaviest thing I have here is a pair of 15-pound dumbbells. I have some stuff like I have a weight vest. I have ankle and wrist weights. I have a few dumbbells ranging from 8 to 15, so really light stuff. I have a jump rope. I have a band, an elastic band, stretchy band thing. But I don't have any heavy weights. So I thought, okay, well, I'm not paying for gym membership right now, so I can save up and buy some actual weight set for the apartment. And I guess I'd have to put it behind my couch, because, I mean, where else am I going to put it? Not a huge place here. So I thought, okay, what do I need? I need at least a bench. I need a weight bar and weights to put on the bar. And I would like a bench press rack. And it would be nice if it had some type of squat rack attachment to it. So I've been looking at different solutions, and I found 2 that were pretty interesting. One is a bench built into a rack that has a squat rack on the other side, and that's pretty cool, and also folds into one piece, so it doesn't take up too much room. The other one is actually 2 pieces. It's a bench and a freestanding rack, so you have to move the bench over to the rack. And what the rack does differently is it has, it extends. You can, pull a pin and make it taller to make it a squat rack. So those are both about $300. They also come with a quad lift thing in the front that you can also use for preacher curls. So that's pretty nice. $300. Saw it as low as $270. That doesn't include any weights, though. And weights are stupid expensive. Like 1 45-pound plate, just a regular. Weights are generally about $1 a pound. So just one pair of 45-pound plates, nearly $100. That's just one set of plates, just one set of 45s. Nearly $100. Now you want bumper plates? Those damn things are like $200 a piece. They're super expensive. So if I want, say, two 45s, two 35s, and two 25s, and I think that's a decent amount of weight because, you know, even if I stack them all on a bar, that's what 255. That's a good work set that I can do without a spot, right? I don't want to go heavier than that by myself because I don't want to accidentally drop anything on my head, right? But that much weight, yeah, you're looking at $250 at least, somewhere around there. So yeah, $500 to $600 for all that crap. So number one, not a ton of space in here, but you know I could make it work. Number two, super damn expensive, but you know, not paying gym membership, so, and probably will not be going back to a gym anytime this year, so the money I save over the next several months could go a long way towards buying something. But the third problem is no one has any of this crap in stock, which is, you know, understandable because that's not like necessary items like, you know, paper towels or food or stuff. So so super expensive, can't find it, and would be take up a lot of space here anyway. So yeah, that kind of blows. I mean, you can only do so many push-ups, right? Need to. I mean, I weigh a lot anyway, so doing a push-up is actually. Oh, I have a pull-up bar too. It's actually lifting a fair amount of weight, especially if I prop my feet up on my couch or something like that. But you know, I haven't touched any really heavy weights in 2 months, so I imagine a lot of my strength is gone right now. Again, I've lost about 5 or 6 pounds, so. Them's the breaks, but you know, hey, still alive, still have a place to live, and still have food to eat, so, you know, it's fine. It's all fine. Ecto Cooler, yeah, I know what you're talking about, a man, but was that high C? Is that the Ecto Cooler is a high C product, right? It was, yeah, it definitely had a taste. I remember it. Sugary drink. Let's see. Jordan says, "If hang on, I gotta blow my nose. Back in a moment." I've got furniture sliders too. I mean, I shouldn't complain. I've got a decent variety of stuff here, but as I was holding up in the back there, I have furniture sliders. But this is what I was talking about, the you know, the stretchy band thing. You can step on one end and, you know, curl it. You can wrap it around your back and do whoop, there. You gotta get it going the other way. You know, do kind of a chest press or push-ups like that. So you can do some stuff. And but yeah, something like this. Where's the, yeah. This is the best I got. And it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, you do enough of them and your arm will fall asleep, absolutely, but I mean, I need more than this. Oh well. First world problems. Anyway, Jordan says Ghostbusters 3 plot. Group finds a door frame and Egon gets sucked in, locked away. After decades of research, the rest of the Ghostbusters find a lead and teach Oscar. Oh yeah, Oscar the baby from from Ghostbusters 2. Yep. See, that's the kind of stuff that I never cared about. Like, I don't care about Oscar. I don't need to see adult Oscar. I give no damns about Oscar at all. You know, I don't... And I'm not saying it would be bad or couldn't be fun or anyone is silly for liking that. That's just not me. Like, when I think of, ooh, Ghostbusters sequel, it's got to tie into everything and all the characters from the original, I'm like, I don't care. You know, I mean, as much as I love the original cast, as much as I love the new cast, you know, I'm fine with new people or new places and new stuff. It's kind of like, you know, as much as I liked 2 out of 3 of the new Star Wars numbered sequels, the thing I like least about them is their insistence on tying into everything that came before. Almost like the creators felt like if someone's not directly related, for example, the whole what's her face, the lead in the damn movie, Andrew, Rey, thank you. Oh, is she a Skywalker or is she a Palpatine? It's like, don't care. She doesn't need to be related. It's a galaxy. Why is everybody... When everybody is related to everybody else, it makes the galaxy seem very small to me. As another example, from what I hear, they're bringing in Boba Fett and Ahsoka Tano into The Mandalorian, and and a lot of people were like, "Ooh, cool, live action, more live action Boba Fett and live action Ahsoka Tano. That's gonna be so cool." And it may very well be, but my reaction was, I'm like, "Oh my god." Only 2 seasons and they're already bringing in Boba Fett, which is essentially who the Mandalorian is anyway. It's like, oh my god. I'm not saying it's going to be bad or it's a bad idea. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I don't know. To me, just I like seeing new things. I don't have any grand desire to see all the old stuff again because I've already seen it. But, you know, we'll see how it turns out. I'm sure it will be fine. Let's see. Got my mouse in the way. I can't read. Scrungle says, seems like where my boyfriend can wander with no worry. He has to wear a mask to go to the store, but the quarantine seems a bit lax. That depends on where you live, I suppose. Like, I put on a face covering when I go outside, unless I'm just, you know, getting my mail or something. And even then, I try to put on a face covering whenever I go outside. The only time I don't really is if I'm not going much any further than the mailbox, and all of my face coverings are in the wash. So, actually need to get more stuff. And what I do for face coverings is I have a like a not a handkerchief, a big square of cloth that I fold into a triangle and usually tie around my head to keep sweat out of my face, but now I just tie around my face like the Shadow. And I look really silly, but I mean, at least, like, if I didn't shave, it doesn't matter. Or if I have unsightly blemishes, I don't have to bust out the concealer, because I can just cover my face in a scarf. Scarf is what it's called. Well, it's not a scarf. You know what I'm talking about. It's like a pocket square. It's a square of cloth. Scrungle says, look, she's related to the super badass character you used to know. Isn't she cool? Give us money. And, you know, I roll my eyes, but I'm certainly not saying you can never do that, or it's creatively bankrupt to do it, or isn't fun to do it, but I don't know. After a while, I'm like, you know, show me something new. Like when they said the next Star Wars trilogy, even after Episode 7, I think they announced they were going to do a new trilogy. I think Rian Johnson was working on 8, and they were like, okay, we're going to do a new trilogy after 9 is done. I'm like, great. I was looking forward to that more than I was like 8 and 9, because I'm like, you know, I like the new set of characters. I like Finn and Rey and Poe and those are the new characters. And BB-8. I really do. They're great characters, and the performances are fun, and they're just folks you enjoy following on their adventures throughout the galaxy. But what really harmed it for me is just how they seemed chained down by those that came before, you know. So I'm really looking forward to new Star Wars, you know, new characters, totally unrelated to anything. It's kind of why I was interested in The Mandalorian. I'm like, okay, just some other crap is happening to other people somewhere else in the universe. And, I mean, yeah, one of them looks exactly like fan favorite Boba Fett, and one is Baby Yoda. Not literally Baby Yoda, but a Baby Yoda. And but other than that, it seemed to be all by itself. I mean, there were some references to Alderaan, and there were a couple episodes that went way too far with the. It was the episode where what's her name? The woman who voiced Mulan back in the day. She's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I forget her name. But that episode at Tatooine, they like name drop every damn thing. They're like Beggar's Canyon, Sarlacc Pit, Womp Rat. I mean, they're listing like every single Tatooine thing you have, Crate Dragon, like everything you had ever heard of. They made sure they name drop. And it's like, oh my god, it's Star Wars. I get it. I'm already paying for the streaming service that this show is on. You've already got me. You don't need to pander. You know, jeez. Still, overall, I quite enjoyed Mandalorian, and I'm looking forward to season 2. I should react to the Mandalorian season 2 parody trailer. I had not heard there was a parody trailer. Send me a link. I'll check it out at some point. Disney does it so poorly, it's just like they gave up on writing. No one can ever just end anymore. Everything just has to keep going. My man Poe was the only one who got actual character development. In the first 2 movies, yeah, a lot of the characters seem to stagnate a bit in the third one, episode 9. Especially Poe and especially Finn. Jesus, they had nothing to do with him except kind of yell at Rey the entire Rey. You went, what? Jeez. Yeah, you often wonder if Rey at any point had ever turned around and go, what, Finn? What? You've got my attention now, buddy. What? What would he say? It's like, hi. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like episode 9. I didn't think it was very good. Ranks near the bottom for me. It's really saved by the fact that it's the third in the trilogy and has characters I really like. Otherwise, I'd probably rank it lower than Rogue One and Solo, which I actually think are probably better movies than episode 9, but you know, I was already into those characters, so that did a lot of the heavy lifting for me. So, story was about an ex-stormtrooper becoming a Jedi. That would be badass, especially with how they were showing in the original trailers. But nah, throw Poe to the side. Character pit. I hated that. Yeah. 9 was not very good. I mean, you know, if you liked it, great. I'm very happy, but it didn't do it for me. But I mean, there's like 11 Star Wars movies, and at least half of them are pretty good, and that's not counting all the cartoons and shows and stuff. So, you know, it's a decent track record for the franchise. And even the movies I don't like, there are things in them that I like. Kind of like Ghostbusters 2016 and Ghostbusters 2. They may not totally work as movies, but, you know, as a fan of the IP, there's a lot of enjoyment I still get out of them. So, but Jordan says, want to see a heist on Coruscant with a crazy cast of characters: a Mandalorian, Wookiee, Ewok, droid, all the weird species. Yeah, yeah, sure. Heist. Yeah, I mean that was kind of what I was hoping we'd see with Rogue One, right? Because I knew the premise of the movie was this is how the rebels, whoever. You can't hear it, but there's some very loud tire squeals going on outside. But I didn't hear a big thump into a building, so I think we're all good. Rogue One was how the rebels stole the Death Star plans. I'm like, ooh, we're gonna like have a Mission Impossible heist movie in Star Wars. Cool. Not exactly what they did. I didn't think Rogue One was very good. It feels like, it definitely feels like a movie that was reshot and torn apart and put back together. And from what I've heard from a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, it was. So who knows if what we saw was better than what was originally planned, or worse, or about the same. Hell, same thing happened with Solo, and that turned out okay. I mean, it's okay, it's fine. It had some fun stuff in it. Didn't totally work, but I didn't hate it. I still think the episodes 1, 2, and 3 are definitely the worst movies in the series by far. Like, episodes 4 through 9 plus Rogue One and Solo, are up here somewhere, and the other 3 are way down here. There's a big gap. I really didn't. But even then, there are moments in the prequels that work, and there's some ideas in the prequels that work. So, really, when I see movies that are bad in the ways that in my opinion, bad Star Wars movies are bad, I'm really more disappointed at the lost opportunity than anything else, because even the really bad, genuinely bad Star Wars movies, I still think had potential. I don't think any of them were bad ideas, right? A Solo prequel may be unnecessary, but not a bad idea, So when I see a bad Star Wars movie, I'm like, oh, that's a shame. That it could have been better, Swing and a miss. I have anger management problems, and I'm always angry anyway. So I do my level best not to get angry at really inconsequential crap like movies. So I make it a point not to get angry at movies, even ones that I want to like and don't. I try. What are we doing here? Let's see. One movie I thought was okay was Birds of Prey. Ooh, I forgot about Birds of Prey. I really liked Birds of Prey. And the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, is that the full title? Yeah, I really like that one. I hope we get to see those characters again, because I really like that one. I thought it was great. Scarl says, but I was watching it on my third strong cocktail, so, drunk out of my mind. Jordan saying a movie about the day in the life of a youngling, and ending on that fateful day Master Anakin shows up. It'd be like, what I could actually follow is that, it's like the last or penultimate episode of Mandalorian. There's like this 4 or 5 minute sequence at the beginning of 2 stormtroopers who have kidnapped Baby Yoda, and they're just sitting on the outskirts of Mos Eisley or wherever the hell they are, just chatting and looking at Baby Yoda and going, oh man, look at that, isn't that weird? And shooting at cans and just calling it. It's like, hey, this is Stormtrooper 127. We've got Baby Yoda. Should we come into town yet? And they're like, nope. Moff Gideon is doing stuff, so please stand by. Okay. And they just kind of, I'm like, both those characters die, I think, but I'm like, you know what? I could totally go for, a just stormtrooper show. Just following the stormtroopers as they go about their day. Stormtroopers who are never in the thick of anything noteworthy or important. Like everything big happens way over there. you know, they hear about all the cool stuff that happens. Like, oh man, this whole pack of Mandalorians just came into the city and just blew the hell out of everything. They're like, oh man, that sounds amazing. We were like, stationed on the outskirts of town at the time, and we could see some of the flashes of light. But I really liked that scene from the front of the Mandalorian, and I'm like, I could follow characters like that for a show. That could be really funny. MASH with stormtroopers, there's something like that, sure. Oh hell, we're already to 8 o'clock. I was gonna talk about G2A and how terrible it is and how stupid the people run it are, but we're kind of at the end of the show now, so I'll save that for next week. I was going to talk about She-Ra too, but running out of time here. She-Ra, its last season aired last week, so maybe we'll talk about it next week. Give you all a chance to catch up if you're worried about spoilers. Do not search any She-Ra hashtags if you're concerned about spoilers, because they will spoil everything. But I've been browsing the She-Ra Twitters, just absorbing all of the fan art because it's kind of amazing and genuinely damn funny. So. Jordan says, as much people didn't like the politics of episode. Okay, I get what you're saying. I thought it fleshed out the world of one-minded political Star Wars drama. Yeah, I think the Star Wars world is big enough to do any kind of story, like we were mentioning earlier, a heist film. I had a video a couple of years ago about that, where I was talking about some interesting things you could do with the Star Wars universe. And I put up a few suggestions. Even if you wanted to use recognizable characters, although honestly, I think the Star Wars name is big enough that you don't have to hook people with recognizable characters. Just do Star Wars; it's fine. But imagine a mobster movie with Jabba the Hutt, if you must. Like The Godfather, with the Jabba the Hutt being the Godfather. He's just there, he's not even the main role of the movie. A whole Goodfellas or something like that in the Star Wars universe. That could be great. It doesn't even have to be specifically Jabba, But again, I think the Star Wars universe is wide enough to large enough to handle all kinds of different interesting genres. And you saw that a little bit with The Mandalorian. There was the Seven Samurai episode. There was actually a heist or a jailbreak episode, which I didn't think totally worked, but I really liked the idea of it. Yeah. Now that the main trilogy of trilogies is over, I'm excited to see what else comes down the pike in the realm of Star Wars. I'm like, all right, cool. Episodes 1 through 9 are done. It's all uncharted territory from here. It's all new stuff. And they're like, hey, Boba Fett and Ahsoka Tano are in the new Mandalorian season. I'm like, oh, god damn it. No. You just let go. Let go, Luke. Oh, well. Scrungle says G2A is the only place I can buy fear without having to pay $45. Yeah, just be careful, because G2A sells stolen keys by its own admission. So it's a really shady reseller. I don't like them. So Context Fear was taken down, and now you have to drop 45 to 50 just to buy one Fear game because it's bundled together. Well, that blows. Family Vacation Road Trip Star Wars film. Yeah, I'll talk about this more next week, but long story short, hey, you remember last summer when G2A boasted, we're just selling illegal keys. Look, developers, if you can find any evidence that we're actually selling illegal keys of your game, this is absurd, but if you find any evidence, then we'll pay you back 10 times the amount of whatever the chargeback costs were. But you're so yeah, they paid one developer about $40,000 because they sold about 200 illegal keys, and now they're not doing the 10 times thing anymore because they're obviously not confident that they're not selling illegal keys. So yeah, G2A it's a scummy organization. The people who run it are genuinely stupid. So yeah. Oh hey, you remember last summer when they did that? Well, $10 for the thing. Remember like the week before that, where they got caught trying to sell pre-written articles to journalists about how awesome they are, but said don't tell anybody. We want to pay you to promote our business, but don't tell anyone that we're paying you to sponsored content. And then of course all of the websites that they did that with immediately ran with that story. Morons. Anyway. Movie based on the construction of the Death Star. Wolfer says you can play Minecraft. I could. I'm not going to. Minecraft is one of those ludicrously popular games that I see no entertainment value in. I don't like Minecraft at all. And I've watched people play it and just who was I watching playing it? As workmates of mine's son. I did a parody video of there were some old Nintendo commercials where they were I forget what the tagline. The whole idea was, "Hi, I'm celebrity person, and I'm not a gamer, but I play Nintendo games." And I'm sitting there thinking that literally makes you a gamer, dumbass. It's like, I'm not a smoker, but I like these cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, you're a smoker. If you play games, you're a gamer. This is not hard. Anyway, I made a video kind of parodying those commercials. It was about GTA, and so I went to a friend's house, a workmate's house, because he owns firearms, and I needed them as props. But while I was over there, his son was playing Minecraft, and I watched for a little while, and I was like, I still don't get it. This game is so boring to me. But I'm also the kind of guy who just doesn't really like Super Mario Maker. So, like, I'm paying you. You make me the content for me to enjoy. I'm not going to make my own content. I ain't paying for the privilege of making my own fun. So, I mean, I don't think Minecraft should be gone or anything. I think Minecraft's great, and I love that it's a source of joy for so many people. I just like Animal Crossing. It's not for me. And both my mother and sister love Animal Crossing. They are hardcore when it comes to Animal Crossing. Me, I find it just dull as hell. So, yeah. But I just have to, be a big boy and understand that not every game is for me. Would be nice if it was, but I like to think I'm mature enough to be okay with the small fact of life that not every single piece of consumable entertainment, video game, movie, music, book, whatever, is specifically for me. Oh well. 1 plus 1 equals fish. It's not hard to understand, folks. Well, if you're subscribing, great. Hope you enjoy some of my stuff. So let's see what it's the end of the show. Let's see what can I plug. I'm still doing Gem and the Holograms. Basically a series of video diaries called A Middle-Aged Man, that would be me, watches Gem and the Holograms. I'm up to episode 16, so I think episode 17 is on Monday, something like that. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. It's actually airing on streaming service Tubi, T-U-B-I, so if you would like to watch it too, you can. I recommend it. It's a fun show. So that series will be going for a while. I think it's 65 episodes, and I'm doing 2 episodes a week, so yeah, that'll take me to the end of the year. What else am I doing? I just had a debut review for Stargirl, the DC series. Check that out. Tomorrow, we'll be streaming another game at noon Pacific Standard Time. What am I playing tomorrow? It's something really relaxing and light and fluffy and fun. Something that's, one of those real affirming feel-good games. Spec Ops: The Line, that's what we're playing tomorrow. So join me tomorrow, noon Pacific Standard Time, either here on YouTube or you can watch me on Twitch, and we'll play a little Spec Ops: The Line. It should be a bucket of smiles. I hear good things about this game. So all right, that's enough out of me. Hope you're all doing all right, and I hope to see you tomorrow at noon. So take care, everyone. Bye bye.